Hi, and welcome to College Planning Untangled, where we help families that are trying to navigate this whole idea of going to college. We make it simpler and just more comfortable that you're walking into college knowing what in the heck you're doing. So I'm
Absolutely.
I'm Kristin Clark. I'm a career exploration coach for 16 to 26-year-olds, and I'm here with Bobby Hood, who does online tutoring for SAT and ACT, as well as all the other MCATs, LSATs, all the
Sure.
stuff. So, Bobby, I love this series. I think it's so cool that we're talking about, what kind of careers are out there that families can consider.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what we've been talking about forever is, it's one thing to just get into college, but if you don't know what career you want, you could waste time and end up taking too long to graduate or, just get a degree that doesn't pay off in any way. Right.
Right. And I'll go back. You guys know I'm the fact girl. So 50% of people are not happy with the degree they chose.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
50%. I got an art degree, Bobby. I'm not doing art. And I know your degree. Wait, where?
Yeah. Accounting was my degree. I only did that for 2 years. Yeah.
Yeah. So, how do we set kids up to have an idea of what they would like to do for a career so that when they do go out and choose their major, they're choosing something they're excited about and they can really see the end results.
Mhm.
So the reason I love this series is talking about these career trends that we know that there are a lot of jobs out there, that they're growing areas, and that, are really kind of cool and fun things that I think the emerging adults can get excited about and wrap their arms around and say, yeah, you know what, that looks really cool to me. So
Absolutely. Yeah. So this week we've got a couple of very interesting fields to talk about.
yeah, well, and the first one is a big one. It's not a new career area, being healthcare, but
Right.
there's some really cool things happening in healthcare that I want families to be aware of. And this first one, Bobby, I think is absolutely cool. The telehealth piece,
Mhm.
to think that you can sit in your house, sit like we are, and talk to a doctor and not have to put on your pants and go out and take off all your clothes and, for a sore throat, that they can kind of go, what's going on, get an idea, and be able to diagnose and help you out without all the rigmarole, right?
Absolutely, and the insurance plan that I got this year through the Affordable Care Act marketplace, my insurance this year has no deductible for walk-in clinics and telehealth, which is a huge thing. And this is what it's a health plan that's affiliated with CVS, so it's free to go to any of these CVS walk-in clinics, and then also free to do telehealth. And like that's yeah, I can do most of my stuff through them, right? And so
Yeah.
it's like this is so you can see that this is where the field's going to be going toward is a lot more of that. And so of course there are going to be millions of jobs coming open, in working in that area.
Right. And you look at it, Bobby, and you go, what's the majority of things that people have? If it's the flu, a cold, and it's like, okay. And if they have a history of getting strep throat every year in February, then guess what?
Yeah,
It's February. I've got a
exactly.
problem. Why not? So I love that. The second part within the healthcare industry is mental health.
Oh
And,
yeah.
this hits us in the heart because of the people that we work with every day, being
Mhm.
this 16 to, for me, 26-year-olds, and you, with this younger, well, no, you're kind of 16 to 26 too, with the LSATs and the MCATs and all that.
Yeah, right.
But it's so much higher mental health issues in this
Mhm.
age group that, we need more bodies that are trying to tackle this and figure out what's going on.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's just going to be growing because the generation that's growing up now is much more in touch with and aware of mental health issues and much more willing to talk about it and get it treated. Whereas before, our generation maybe was much more likely to just kind of like suffer through things and there was a stigma against talking about
Absolutely. And this whole mental health category is more well receptive. People are getting used to the fact that, hey, we need help.
it.
We need to, have people that help us with mental health as well as any other physical issues that we have.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. And then the last category within the health care area is aging.
Hmm.
Yeah. So what's interesting is I just had a client that she's like, Kristin, I'm working in the an assisted living home. I just love working with the elderly. But another thing she was interested in is interior design. And she's like, I can't decide between the two. And I was like, girl,
Yeah.
what if you were able to, because you've got these experiences in this home, you could help aging in place by creating decor that helps people stay in their home longer. And
Absolutely.
oh my gosh. And she was just like, oh my gosh, that would be so awesome.
No, that's absolutely an interesting. So that's part of, I think, the point of this is like, for our age group, if you think, oh, my kid wants to go into healthcare, all you think of is doctor and nurse. And you're like, no, there's a world of jobs,
So much.
a
Yeah.
world of jobs. Yeah.
Yeah.
So whatever interests you have, you can still tailor it in the world of health.
Absolutely. Okay. So we're going to change gears a little bit.
Yeah.
The other kind of category that we're going to talk to is this idea of your creatives. So very different. You go from your sciencey people to your creatives, and there's Bobby, everything's about content. So you've got these digital creators that are out there creating content to be consumed. And I mean, content in this world today is so huge. I mean, you look at TikToks, you look at Facebook, you look at all the stuff. Hell, even, if you're going to buy something, there's always a video to explain to you, what that's about. And this is huge. Yeah.
Well, absolutely. And in that world, that it's so you have the designers who are actually making the creative pieces, but then you've got this huge team that is part of that aren't actually directly the either coders or art designers. My best friend is working on a UX UI team for one of the largest jewelry companies in the world. And what they're doing is, looking at the website, looking at the way people move through it and say, okay, these pop-ups and buttons and joining the club and signing up for this thing, all of those things, where these things appear on the screen, how they appear on the screen, how you flow through the website. And so there's a team that they have, a new thing that needs to be added to the website, and they work together to figure it out. And then they have creatives below them that are actually designing the pieces, but they put together kind of the description of what needs to be done. And so you can be a creative without actually having to like design the art, right? And somebody else can be in charge of the fonts and the colors and all that. And so there's a whole team doing it. It's really cool.
And you're right. And that's what's really neat about it too, is you're seeing this convergence too of the creatives and the UX and all this stuff. Or UX. Yeah, I got it there right. I got that right.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we don't want to forget to talk about virtual reality and all of this too. I mean, that's another thing where, I saw this show that they were training military people on how to, when they're in a combat situation, how to handle those and things to expect by. And when you look at that and you go, wow, that's helping our military. I mean, that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. There's so much. And so that's, when that next breakthrough comes through and finally, virtual reality becomes much more, usable. There's going to be just zillions of jobs in that area.
Yes.
And it would be so much fun.
I know. Look at how excited we just got about each of these categories. And I look at this and I'm like, guys, this is where your emerging adult can look at some of this stuff and go, whoa, okay, I'm excited about that. Absolutely. And I think it's all about getting these ideas in front of them so that they can get excited, especially if they're like, well, wow, I'm really good at designing stuff, but you can't make any money in designing stuff. Well, we're here to tell you, yes, you can.
Absolutely. I mean, and that's the point. If you've got a kid who's not super excited about college or hasn't figured out their career, this is what, they can work with you and you can help them figure these things out because you have looked into these things and you can find them things that'll fit their strengths, their personality, and find them areas that they'd be interested to go in because they just hadn't thought about it.
I know. And I'm so excited. So we're going to talk about this for the next 3 weeks in different areas that, are emerging trends in careers that you need to know about.
Absolutely. And so people should just get their students and have them watch these videos and start thinking about, the different careers they might be interested in. This is a good place to start talking with your kid about it.
Absolutely. All right. I will see you.
All right. See you next week. All righty.